where we dive into authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us, from personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation. Okay, we are back with the part two really quickly, guys. I just have been coming across more and more updates. So I'm going to fill y'all's teacup back up with some more shit on the Orleans Parish jailbreak, escapees, and their accomplices. Okay, so put your teacups up and let's fill them up. Let me go and get my video shared. 1 second. This is going to be another quick, brief update as they're coming in. I'm getting them in. I will not be on until probably afternoon. After this, got to go to some graduations. Okay. On the screen. Let me move this down. Look at this shit, y'all. Look at this.
This new surveillance video from the Orleans Parish DA's office showing some of the escaped inmates from the Orleans Justice Center walking in the CBD. Take a look at your screen there. It shows the inmates walking in an alley near Barone Street just after 2 a.m. This is on Friday. That's about an hour after the jailbreak happened. Now, that is just the latest in a day full of new information on that jailbreak. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Katie Moore. We have multiple new developments on the investigation into the prison escape. 5 escapees remain on the run tonight. And we're now finding out that 2 people have been arrested for helping some of them after that jailbreak. And we're diving into the history of one of those many escapees who reportedly has experience breaking out of jail.
And the Orleans Parish GA and Louisiana Attorney General toured the Orleans Justice Center as they tried to identify what led to this escape. But first, we go live to our Whitney Miller, who is live near the location. This is where one of the inmates, Corey Boyd, Whitney, was captured last night.
Yeah, she has details. Whitney, what'd you find out?
Boyd was taken into custody here near this corner of Iberville and Treme. He is now the 5th person recaptured in this ongoing manhunt. But tonight, the focus, as you both mentioned, is on 2 people accused of helping him and others stay hidden. 32-year-old Courtney Harris of New Orleans and 38-year-old Corvante Baptiste of Slidell are now behind bars themselves. State police say both played key roles in helping the escapees after they broke out of the Orleans Justice Center on Friday. Now, investigators say Harris was in contact with at least 1 inmate who's still on the run, and she allegedly drove 2 escapees to several spots around New Orleans. Baptiste is accused of helping Corey Boyd directly, communicating with him on social media and even delivering him food while he hid out inside of this neighborhood. Now, both Harris and Baptiste are charged with being accessories after the fact. That's a felony under Louisiana law, and if convicted, they can face up to 5 years in prison each. And tonight, law enforcement is again warning the public that helping a fugitive is a serious crime, and they will hold anyone who is doing that accountable. I will tell you both that here in this neighborhood, I have seen police doing some patrols, if that sheds any light on just how serious this manhunt is. For now, in New Orleans, Whitney Miller, WWL, Louisiana.
All right, Whitney, thanks so much. And law enforcement is playing a possibly dangerous game of cat and mouse with a man all too familiar with breaking the rules.
Antoine Massey, he's one of the 5 inmates still on the run after escaping the Orleans Parish Justice Center. And as Eleanor Tabone explains, this is not the first time he's escaped.
Last Friday, just after lunch, 6 inmates escaped from the city's juvenile jail called the Youth Study Center.
Before the Juvenile Justice Intervention Center became what it is today, it was the Youth Study Center. In 2007, Antoine Massey escaped from here. According to our partners at NOLA.com, police found Antoine Massey on the interstate Interstate 10 service road in eastern New Orleans. At the time, Massey was being held on armed robbery and aggravated assault charges.
The bottom line is that every child that's detained in that facility poses a great and grave risk to public safety, and that's the reason they're detained there.
NOLA.com reported at the time the juveniles took advantage of a broken lock to get into a room that contained metal shackles, then used the heavy objects to break a window and escape. Fast forward to 2019. He escaped from Morehouse Detention Center, just outside of Monroe. He was caught the same day, but in Texas.
I believe that Antoine Massey probably wasn't handled properly.
Then in 2023, Massey did it again.
In November of 2023, Antoine Massey was ordered into our ankle monitor program, and he was placed on ankle monitor, and 2 very short hours later, he cut his ankle monitor off.
Matt Dennis with Assured Supervision Accountability Program, or ASAP, an electronic monitoring company, says Massey was a red flag from the start.
The truth is, Antoine Massey didn't just escape my ankle monitor. We received him after escaping an ankle monitor. We were warned.
He says Massey's history of escapes should have been a warning that he must be taken seriously.
If you're going to run a brick and mortar jail with 4 walls, I'm not sure that the first floor is where you should keep very dangerous people or people that know how to escape. I don't think that you should keep them on a tier or in a pod where there's no live deputies walking around.
According to documents WWL Louisiana got this week, investigators say 33-year-old Sterling Williams, a jail maintenance worker, is facing charges after he confessed to helping the 10 inmates escape. The documents say he acted under orders from escaped inmate Antoine Massey, who allegedly threatened to shank him if he refused.
Antoine Massey doesn't belong on an ankle monitor. Antoine Massey doesn't belong on the first floor of an unsupervised pod.
Eleanor Tabone, WWL Louisiana.
And we reached out to several agencies to determine where Massey was placed on an ankle monitor before the 2023 incident, and we're still waiting to hear back. In the meantime, state and local leaders are looking for answers inside the walls of the Orleans Justice Center.
Amelia Strahan was there as the DA and the Attorney General toured the facility today. So, Amelia, were they looking for anything specific? Do we get any new information from them?
So Katie and Therese, District Attorney Jason Williams says that getting your eyes on a crime scene is the first step towards serving justice. And that's exactly what this was today. So as they walked through the halls here at Orleans Justice Center, they were looking for anything, any evidence that might lead them to how this happened and who is to blame for it. Security failures leading to a historic jailbreak in Orleans Parish are slowly unfolding.
I saw the locks issues, I saw the hinges issue, I saw what they were talking about with the sliding doors. There's still probably 160 of them, of doors that in some form need to be fixed.
For the first time since the breakout, city and state officials laid eyes on the crime scene.
I wanted to see exactly where they were able to scale the wall, what door they went out of, how it was secured. I wanted to see the back portion of that toilet area.
To preserve the investigation, District Attorney Jason Williams wouldn't speak to the vulnerabilities inside the walls of the jail. And how exactly 10 prisoners managed to escape Orleans Parish Justice Center is still unclear. But outdated security systems, broken cameras, and vendor confusion were just a few of the failures the sheriff's office cited in Tuesday's city council meeting.
That assessment outlines that the current system in place, it will fail within the next 2 years.
For that footage that we've all now seen, where you have the 10 inmates running outside the facility, is there a door sensor there?
No, that is not an exit door, but there are some vulnerabilities of the facility that weren't there initially.
But Attorney General Liz Murrill says the failures stretch far beyond broken security systems and believes the length of inmates' stay in what should be a short-term facility is part of the problem.
We aren't going to get long-term structural change in the system at this facility unless we can manage the amount of time that people are having to spend here. And that means their cases have to be moved.
And Williams says one thing is clear. Responsibility lies with more than just one person.
Who all was involved in this jailbreak? Who assisted, who knew, and when?
And Williams says it will take time to find answers to those questions. Reporting live from Orleans Justice Center, Amelia Strahan, WWL, Louisiana.
Amelia, thank you so much. The beginning of a very long investigation. Take another look at these escapees. You can see which ones have been recaptured. They have been taken to Angola State Prison. If you know anything that could help investigators, you're asked to call 911.
Okay, now I can go back. Sadi had my what is this? I had my mute button on. Okay, so back to the jailbreaks. There are culprits, right? Accomplices that help them. Louisiana State Police announced Wednesday the arrest of 2 individuals accused of helping fugitives following the mass escape from New Orleans Justice Center on May 16. According to investigators, 32-year-old Courtney Harris of New Orleans and 38-year-old Carvante Baptiste of Slidell were each charged with 1 felony count of accessory after the fact for allegedly assisting the inmates who fled the facility during the early morning jailbreak. And it continues to say one victim connected to a recaptured inmate told WWL News that he believes the arrests were warranted. They should be arrested for doing this. He said in a phone interview, "I would leave town if I was anybody dealing with those 5." He went on to say the 2 that got arrested last night, now they have 5 years to deal with, because when you escape, it's an automatic 5 years. Automatic 5 years added to your sentence if you escape from jail or prison. The same victim expressed a deep frustration with how the escape was handled by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. The sheriff should resign her position, he said. It seems like she doesn't know what she's doing, and the jail doesn't know what they're doing either. Ooh, my. Phone calls, food, and rides. Authorities say Harris was in contact with one of the 5 inmates still at large before the escape. Afterwards, she allegedly drove 2 of the fugitives to various locations around New Orleans in an attempt to shield them from law enforcement. Baptiste was also found to have communicated via phone and social media with 19-year-old escapee Corey Boyd, who has since been recaptured. LSP says he provided food to Boyd while he hid inside a residence. And you guys go back over and also lets us know that they have said if we help any of these prisoners, we will be held punishable. Okay? We will be held accountable. We will be punished. I, for one, would never help a criminal. And I, for 2, hope that you guys stay safe and don't either. Okay? Let's listen to this tea. this on a commercial. Skip. Okay.
How at least the initial breach occurred.
Okay.
We do have a
So
photograph.
there were
that we've been showing
initially
shortly
11
there it is,
inmates that
the
escaped from
hole
Orleans
in the
Parish
jail
Jail.
wall where this escape initially occurred. That hole you see, there was once a toilet there, and there's supposed to be a toilet. Somehow that got dismantled and removed, leaving a hole through which these 11 inmates escaped. Now, this is just the first level of this escape. Clearly, they went through that hole, were free within the complex, still needed to get over the perimeter fence, barbed wire, and those 15 to 20 foot concrete walls. So all hands on deck as far as the investigation of exactly how the breach occurred, including possibly whether there was some help on the inside. This is a lot of damage to a tier inside of that secure facility to have gone on in obviously much damage to a toilet or sink that used to be there. I understand it was a toilet. You can see that scrawled on the wall, too easy, LOL, misspelled too, but nevertheless, presumably inmates almost mockingly stating how easy it was to commit this breach.
Okay. Mocking the inmates. Okay. Mocking the jail. Right. Let's see if it has anything else to go. Okay. Charges and consequences. Both Harris and Baptiste were booked into the Plaquemines Parish Detention Center under Louisiana law. Those convicted of an accessory after the fact may face up to 5 years in prison, a $500 fine, or both. Law enforcement officials emphasize that anyone aiding fugitives risk prosecution. Harboring fugitives threatens the safety of our communities and will not be tolerated, stated the police in a statement. Okay. The manhunt continues. Let's sip this tea from this video.
Breaking tonight, we are seeing large-scale searches across the metro area 5 days after 10 inmates escaped from the Orleans Parish Jail. The latest tonight in St. Roch.
Earlier, we do know a fifth inmate was caught less than 2 miles from the Orleans Parish Jail. Corey Boyd, you see on your screen right now, was taken into custody.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Devin Bartolotta.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. Sheriff Susan Hudson has announced that she will temporarily suspend her re-election campaign, saying, quote, "I cannot spend a moment putting politics over your needs, and now is the time to focus on security, accountability, and public safety."
This comes as people all across the area are seeing law enforcement swarm their neighborhoods, continuing to hunt for those still on the run. Lily Cummings is in St. Roch right now, where drones and helicopters have been hovering. Lily, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Devin and Sharice, they seem to be narrowing in on one home behind me here at Marigny and North Galvez. I'm going to take a step here out of the way so our photojournalist Robin can show you exactly what we're looking at. We have seen Louisiana State Police as well as SWAT and NOPD on the scene. As you mentioned, at least 3 drones were in the air at one point. We also have one helicopter circling the area, but this is not the first scene that we've been at just tonight.
The search for escaped Orleans inmates has stretched to the North Shore. Tuesday evening, neighbors captured several SWAT and Louisiana State Police vehicles near Foxcroft Street and Kings Point Boulevard in Slidell.
I got a call from the neighbor across the street that we were told everyone needs to stay inside.
State police say none of the inmates were found during the investigation, but neighbors say they heard authorities shout out of this house with their hands up.
For them to be up in here, obviously they must have got some kind of tip.
We observed inside this home collecting evidence. Less than 2 hours later in New Orleans, this apartment complex near Iberville and Basin became the next hotspot. This time, Louisiana State Police captured a fifth inmate, 19-year-old Corey Boyd. Authorities say they believe the remaining inmates are all in the New Orleans metro area. As law enforcement continues to chase leads, this Slidell resident says he's not scared.
Do you feel safe in your neighborhood?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. By all means, I do. It's just, like I said, everybody watches out for each other.
And obviously tonight is a reflection that law enforcement are taking every tip serious. They are out here again in the St. Roch neighborhood right now. So we've seen them in Slidell, we've seen them in Treme, now St. Roch tonight. Again, any tip that you send into FBI, Crime Stoppers, or state police, you could get a reward up to $20,000. We have all of the information on who to contact and how to contact them at WWLTV.com. Reporting live from St. Roch, Lily Cummings, WWL, Louisiana.
Lily, a very active and busy scene behind you, so they may be zeroing in on someone. Hopefully we get updates from you later on in the show, and we will continue to check in with Lily. But each escapee that is caught is being placed in state custody and won't be heading back into the Orleans Justice Center. Today, state police released these pictures of the 4 that were found yesterday and Friday as they were booked into Angola.
All right, that was a tea update, y'all. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to sit. Okay. From the Orleans Parish jailbreak and their accomplices. 5 of the 10 escapees have now been recaptured. A multi-agency search remains underway for the remaining fugitives. Up to $20,000 in reward money per fugitive remains. FBI will give you $10,000. ATF will give you $5,000. Crime Stoppers will also give you $5,000, totaling $20,000, y'all. Okay. So that appears to be the latest updates. I think the Anton Massey guy is still on the loose, y'all. He is a mastermind of escaping. This is like his third escape. He's broken off ankle monitors and all of that shit, y'all. Okay. Murder victim goes into hiding as police hunt for the inmates, y'all. Let's click on that and sip this tea and see what they say. Hold on.
Inmates still on the run. We know now at least one family is in hiding. Escapee Derek Groves was convicted of killing 2 men on Mardi Gras 7 years ago. We talked with family members of one of those men, and they're stuck wondering how this happened, why they didn't find out sooner, and what they can possibly do next. Here's Rachel Hanley.
Wednesday, Jamar Robinson's family celebrated his birthday. Later, they were in hiding after finding out that the man convicted of his murder had escaped from prison.
just get all our family members out of the city. We had to get everyone out of the city. Didn't know what way we was going, where we was going, crying, devastated.
2 of Robinson's family members spoke with us over the phone. They asked not to be named for their safety. Robinson and another man, Byron Jackson, were shot and killed on Mardi Gras in 2018. Derek Groves was arrested for their murders. Late Friday morning, someone they knew called the family and told them that a group of inmates had broken out of Orleans Justice Center. Groves was one of them.
No one notified us. No one tell us anything. You know, we had to leave work. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how Derek Groves felt like with this process of us. You know, either he was coming for us. We didn't know.
They say they went to a nearby police station and 2 officers escorted them home. They grabbed what they could, got the family's young kids, including Robinson's son, from school. Then they left. By that time, Groves had been out for hours.
We just didn't know what to do at that point. And I'm so angry with the Orleans Parish prison because it's like, when I look at the news, I see the boys pulling on the door. Like, this prison was just recently built. And you mean to tell me the doors was that easy to pull apart?
And this is a family that was already exhausted. Groves was convicted of killing Robinson and Jackson in 2019. But the jury wasn't unanimous, and a Supreme Court ruling ended up throwing out the verdict because of it. 23 was declared a mistrial. The next one later.
While my computer's catching up to the live, there are victims of these escapees that are in hiding, scared, okay? A lot of the escapees were convicted murder. Okay, she's back up.
With a deadlocked jury. Then, finally, in October of last year, Groves was convicted again. His sentencing was set for July.
It's just crazy. It's like a soul that's not being healed. Because every time we move on from this, something come up.
Now, with Groves on the run, Robinson's family is trying to figure out what to do about their jobs and the kids' school. They're planning to stay hidden while they wait for justice again. Rachel Handley, WWL Louisiana.
And take a look on your screen. This is a photo of the inmates. The NOPD told us yesterday that anyone who was a witness in any of these escapees cases or has any other reason to fear one of them, they should contact them for help. And again, 3 are back in custody and have been transferred to state correctional facilities outside of New Orleans. Now, if you see any of them, you're asked to call 911 right away. And we will have continuing coverage of the incident and the work to try and make the jail more secure. Look for updates on our website, our free smartphone app, as well as our social media pages.
Okay, we now know that they're up to 5 inmates, right? I believe Derek Groves, however, is still on the loose. I believe he's one of the ones that are still
Your pet deserves the best care.
Okay.
When your pet isn't feeling well, it can be stressful.
What are they saying down in the bottom? Louisiana has learned that family members of a murder victim are in hiding as police continue to search for the man convicted of killing their loved one. Derek Groves was one of the 10 inmates who escaped the Orleans just after midnight Friday. Groves was arrested for the shooting deaths of Jamar Robinson and Byron Jackson on Mardi Gras in 2018. Okay, this is 2025. And they did not escape from prison. They escaped from jail. Okay. So however long from the time that he was arrested in 2018, he's still sitting in a New in a Orleans Parish Justice Center. It's 2025. Two of Robinson's family members spoke with WWL Louisiana Saturday, asking that their names not be published. They celebrated Robinson's birthday at the gravesite just 2 days ago. They said the Orleans Parish Sheriff did not contact them at any point after the escape. So I'm thinking, like, do they have any type of repercussion from that not being a priority of letting the victims of the family of the victims know that people, the murders of their loved ones, have escaped from jail? Do you think that there could be some possible repercussion or anything that they could do from that happening or not happening? We didn't know what was going to happen. They said we didn't know how Derrick Rose felt, whether he was coming for us. We just did not know, said one of the family members of the murder victim. We just didn't know what to do at that point, they said. I'm so angry with the Orleans Parish Prison. This prison was just recently built, and you mean to tell me the doors was that easy to pull off? It didn't look like a new jail to me. It's new to them. It looked like an old jail to me. It didn't look like it was new, like even a few years old. It looked like it had at least been sitting there 20. I don't know when they built this jail, but if it's a new jail, they did a poor job of constructing it. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. I have brought y'all the latest tea that I could find in part 2 of the Orleans Parish jailbreak and their accomplices. This has been Tanisha Talk Teas. Again, y'all stay safe. If you help an inmate, you will also be punished. You will also be punished. Help an inmate. If you see an inmate, call. It's up to $20,000 reward for their safe capture. Okay, don't try to get yourself involved in any way. These are dangerous murder offenders. Okay, thank you. Have a great rest of your day and stay safe. Thanks for watching. Remember to show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing. It's a blessing. Keep your teacups filled and ready for my next upload. Until then, stay inspired and remember, always stay dipping.